And the man them go a cracking again. And the man them go a cracking again. And the man them go a cracking again. And the man them go a cracking again.
Hi guys,
Welcome back to our channel.
I'm Karen,
I'm Believe.
and today we have a video that is inspired by an article that Masaba Gupta, an Indian fashion designer, wrote, basically where she's telling herself things she wished she knew when she was younger.
Right, so there's 10 lessons in here and we're just going to go through them and see if they apply to us. We love Masaba Gupta. Her clothes are so bold and so...
They're like fun.
Yeah, but
and like they're kind of pop art inspired, and they're very modern and
kind of push the boundary of
Yeah.
traditional Indian clothing. So we always find it really...
we are always so inspired by her work. And then when we saw this article, we're just like,
I feel like her personality is like super bold and she's like super fierce like herself. She's a very independent woman, and she's very vocal.
yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go through these.
The name of the article, we'll add a link in the little thing, description box, but it's 10 invaluable learnings Masaba Gupta would share with her younger self. Let's start with number 1.
All right, so number 1 is learn to say no more often. Do we feel like that applies to us?
I could totally... There's some things that I'm really good at saying no about, but there's so much more that I could say no to.
I think I've always been pretty good at saying no. It's almost one of my favorite words. But, I mean, I'm sure there were situations when I was a little younger that I should have said no to and probably didn't.
Have you ever seen on Instagram the meme, the quote? I was like, if it's, or this is also a saying, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Truth. All right, number 2. Invest your time in the right people. So we read, there's a little explanation under this too, and she pretty much says, don't,
The people that you surround yourself with right now are going to mold you within the coming years. Like, basically, you're the summation of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like, who you surround yourself with impacts you, whether that's negatively or positively, so keep a close eye on that.
and she also mentions step outside of your comfort zone and interact with more people, social butterflies, 2 a.m. people,
Like,
just different kinds of people, because you'll always learn something different from each person because they're all so different, and you'll create yourself through that. We do think that's really important, and it also says don't waste your time with toxic people. We all know this, but it somehow still ends up happening. It is what it is, but learn how to pull yourself away from that.
Which kind of leads into the next point, which is don't be addicted to anything or anyone.
I'm addicted to Netflix,
Instagram?
social media. I think in this day and age, it's so much harder. I feel like when we were younger, I don't think I had a certain addiction to my phone. I honestly didn't have a phone until 10th grade, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my mom was like super
I got one in middle
strict.
school, but like in middle school, what could you do with your phone? Like I had one of those,
even with like
and a chocolate?
Yeah, even with like MySpace
I
and
didn't
stuff,
have MySpace.
I
Ever.
wasn't addicted to it. I was
On it.
curious, and I was more like, wow, what is this space? But I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna log into MySpace.
I didn't have MySpace, and I only got a Facebook like senior year of high school.
Wow, I had that in high school, but I think I got addicted to people though. I think it's true, it can happen. You get addicted to somebody because you feel like, especially when you're younger, you just feel like, oh well, like, no, this is cool, like I want to be like this, and then you just like keep falling in the trap of like this person might actually be a negative person, and you're just like so blinded. So number 4, vulnerability is a beautiful thing. I don't think I knew that when I was a child or younger.
Yeah.
Teenager, whatever you want to call it.
It takes a lot of bravery.
Yeah, like even to receive constructive criticism used to be like an issue, and I used to be like, well, why? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like I think I used to get really mad at constructive criticism, and I've grown to like, obviously like through school and stuff, all you get is constructive feedback. So I think I've learned to accept it. But I guess when I was younger, it would have helped so much more because had I been listening to the people that were trying to better me when I was younger, it would have, change would have happened faster.
I think vulnerability though also plays a role in being confident in your truth and being able to express yourself. And it's definitely something that can take practice, especially as you get older and you're almost like shamed into not saying certain things or keeping certain things secret or not mentioning them. It's definitely something that's worth chipping away at a little bit. And so then the next one, number 5, is don't be the victim of a generation crisis. This one's an interesting one because what she goes to say is sometimes you'll find yourself drawn to unhealthy obsessions and trends of a generation. So essentially what she is trying to say is that you should recognize personally what your own values are, and rather than living to society's expectations and goals and what society is telling you to do, like, don't be a sheep. Figure it out for yourself, what you value, what you want to do, and then do that.
Well, I think like when you're younger, it's so much harder to figure out what you want in life. So you feel like, oh, when my group of friends wants this, so I should probably want the same thing. But that's not necessarily true. Like, everybody has different priorities, different goals. Like, some people's goal is just to be in a relationship. Some people's goal is just to be successful and like figure out a way how to get into their career path, and that's what they work at. So don't let other people's judgments on your path determine what path you choose.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the main point.
Yeah, and I think also this kind of goes back to something we've spoken about before. When it comes to an idea that you have, it's really important to take a step back and really think, like, where did that idea come from? Like, she's saying generations of society is what's telling you to act in a certain way or to fall in line with a certain idea, but maybe it's something that like your parents told you, or
Right.
something that like your friend group, as Walid mentioned, told you. So like, check yourself.
Right. And just make sure you're doing it for yourself and the right reasons. So number 6 is let work be your prayer, but don't let overworking become a ritual. I think this is honestly really important for people that are, I don't know if it was my younger self, I would tell my younger self this because I didn't really work as hard when I was younger. I think I actually need to work harder, but I think like now, like, this is actually really good to hear because I feel like I'm now in a phase where like I might start believing that like overworking yourself is how you become successful.
So I personally have an issue in the sense that if I'm not doing something productive or work related, I feel really guilty. Like, I have a lot of guilt sometimes when I'm like just hanging out with friends or like going out or supposed to be relaxing. Like, it's something that I struggle with quite a bit in the last years since I've like graduated. And I think she sums it up very nicely at the end where she says like, great things do happen when you work hard, but even greater things can happen when you step away once in a while.
And I really agree with that. Like, I think sometimes if you get too wrapped up in something, you're so stuck on like getting this one thing done that if you take a step back, breathe, you might have a better way of getting it done.
Yeah, like if you go somewhere else for inspiration, like you might stumble upon a really great business idea or a really creative solution that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
Number 7, find your purpose.
So this is really, I think we just reflected on these right before we made this video, and we realized that right before we started YouTubing, we actually were doing way less in a day. Like, we wouldn't discuss as many things, come up with all of these ideas, and I think we found our purpose through YouTube. And I think creating change for us is what sparked it, but now it's like we sit there and we talk for hours about what we can do.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that we can do? And I think finding your purpose is so important because now, like, we Google things we might not have Googled, like, last year.
Yeah, like, it's a really great way for us to learn, but also, like, grow as individuals. And I think it's really, like, it's become so much fun for us. Like, YouTube has given us, like, a purpose in the way that, like, we didn't necessarily always used to have.
And it's not even just like about your career, because like we're in fashion, of course, like that.
This is like a hobby.
Yeah, this is like a hobby. We found our purpose outside of our careers, which is really interesting because one day we hope to bridge it and make it one.
Yeah. Okay, number 8, love can be anything you want it to be.
I think in today's day and age that is so important because, well, it's not so important. It's just so, it's spoken about so much more that to kids nowadays, I think they get it, but I do think like back in the day, like my reference to love was like Bollywood, and I mean like cliche much.
Yeah.
like, you
Or
know,
not even just cliche, it's also just like unrealistic expectations.
yeah, or it's just every story is the same. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like start getting
Guy
into
always
this
gets girl,
raw-
happy ending.
or like Disney,
Yeah.
you know.
But I also think what it goes to show is that love, in the English language, you only really have one word to describe love. But like if you look at like Greek and like those older languages, like they had so many different words to describe the different kinds of love. Like a platonic love between two friends, the love like you have for your sibling versus like more erotic love. Like this love can really, the 4-letter word that she goes to say, it can really come to be very like narrow-minded in this day and age, but there's more than one kind of love, and all because you might not be in a relationship or have like found the one you want to spend the rest of your life with, that doesn't mean that the love you have around in your life isn't just as valuable.
Right, accept any kind of love. So number 9 is travel more. I think we need to do a lot more of that.
Yeah.
We talk about all of these plans and we're like, oh, like we should
We're
do
gonna live
this
in
and we should do
Bombay.
that. And I think the point is to act on it, and the point is to like go around the world and like learn so much more. Like also travel is so social media based now. It's like people go to take pictures, like
not to like experience, be in it fully.
culture, learn the people. Like I think travel should be more about that.
Number 10, the final one.
Put your family first. I agree with this, but I don't think I've ever had an issue with putting my family first. I think growing up too, we didn't have a lot of friends because, well, because like one, like your Indian parents don't want you to go to like
yeah, you don't
their
get to sleep
other
over.
friends' houses, so like good luck. Let me just sleep
Yeah.
over my cousin's house. That's all I'm getting.
But okay, those are the 10 points, and I think in summation, they all kind of, I was like thinking about it after we read them. I feel like it all just kind of sparks to the things you would tell yourself when you're younger, like, yeah, these are certain specific things, but they all just kind of seem to go back to like self-love
Yeah.
and like growth and making sure that you
focus on the right things, and that focus always has your best
like interest in mind.
interest in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, like keep on growing and evolving and don't get stuck in ruts, whether that's not traveling, only hanging out with the same people, spending all your time on like social media, whatever it may be. Like check in with yourself and really see if the things that you're doing are in line with the person you want to be in the present and in the future.
Right. Yeah.
This is so cute. I loved it.
So, thank you, Masaba Gupta, for sharing
Doing
these
this,
10
yeah.
points, because it even gave us a chance to reflect on what we forget to step back and look at. So, I think it was even good for us. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. New
Let us
videos
know.
every... Oh,
Let us know which one your favorite was in the comments.
right. And every Wednesday.
We drop new videos. No matter what.
In case you didn't realize,
Wednesday's the day. Mark it in your
drop
calendar.
videos
Mhm.
every Wednesday. So if you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe,
share it.
share it,
It'd mean a lot to us.
tag us on Instagram. We'll put the handle here this time,
Here.
somewhere here. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.